Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series of computer programming. We are learning about control statements. So we already learned about what is selection statements and what are all the different types of iterative statements. As part of selection statements, we learned about if and switch, and as part of iterative statements we learned about while, do while and for, and in this lecture we will be learning in detail about the third category, that is about our transfer statements. So let us start learning this transfer statements. Now what is nothing but a transfer statement is, we learned in the selection statement and in the like iterative statement, we learn depending upon the condition, the statements may be executed once or multiple times, or we can skip the execution of those statements. But whereas coming to the transfer statement, there will not be any condition. We will be transferring the flow of execution from one place to another place without checking any condition. So such a thing are called as a transfer statement. So that's why these are called as unconditional branching. We will not be having any condition option here. Just whenever that statement is occurring there, then we will be transferring those statements either forward or backward direction depending upon the type of transfer statement we are using. So normally we have four types of branching statements. So these types of transfer statements are called as unconditional branching statements. We have four types: break, continue, go to and return. So all are keywords, all are of small letters only. Observe here, break, continue, go to and return, all are of small letters only. And in this lecture we will be learning about break, continue and go to only. Whereas return statement we will be learning while we are learning about the functions concept. Then it will be very clear to you. So in this lecture we will be skipping this return. Only break, continue and go to will be learning. Right? So let us start with the break. But before going to learn about these control statement, you need to make a note always try to avoid using these branching statement. Why? Because we can't understand the flow of execution because there is no conditioning everything. So try to avoid these branching statements, but you need to use this technique only when it is difficult for us to use the looping statements like while loop, do while and for loop. If it is difficult for us to use, then only you can use these break, continue, go to statements. Okay, but mostly it is suggested you should not use these things. Now coming to the break statement, we have already used this break statement in the switch statement, where if you want to come out of that switch after executing a particular case, there we have already used this break statement where to exit from a particular case. Got it? Now here the same thing here also, the name itself, it is telling break, so it allows us to jump from a particular loop. Normally break will be used in combination with your switch statement or with the combination with your looping statements. Looping statements means for, while and do while. Right? So whenever there is a break statement, that break statement will search for its nearest looping statement like for, while and do while, and its ending it will come out of that loop. It will make us to do like that. So we'll see with an example. So normally the break statement will be used in combination with decision making like if else and along with our looping statements. So we'll see the syntax here. The syntax is very simple. Just we need to use a keyword called break and follow with a semicolon. So we'll see a simple example. If you observe here, I have taken a while loop here. From here to here it is completely a block of while loop, and always the condition is true. Observe here. So when the condition is true, it will enter into here and it will ask the user to enter a number, and if the number is less than 0, then only it will enter, it will execute this break. Observe here, in the if we have only one statement, this break will be executed only when the value of x is less than 0. If it is not less than 0, this will not be executed. But suppose if this value, let us consider the value you have given is -1, then -1 is less than 0, which is true, then the break will be executed. When the break is there, then what happens? The control will come out of this nearest iterative statement. What is the nearest iterative statement? We have while, so it will come out of this while, and the next statement of that while will be executed, that is print statement. Let us see some example. Initially it is asking us to enter a number. I have given a value of 4. So 4 is greater than 0. This condition is false. So you will be getting a square root of 4 is 2. and next time I'm giving 9, you'll be getting the 3. Why? Because 9 is not less than 0. Okay, next time I'm giving -1, then what happens? It will come out of this one and you will be getting an output called end of while. So this is the output of this program, right, all of you? So you take one more example, I equal to 1, I less than 5, I plus plus. You can pause the video here and you can check what will be the output of this program. Okay. So you can see the output of this program will be 1 and 2. Why? Because for the first time I value is 1. So you will be getting 1 and it will be repeated. 2 it will be repeated, and 3 as it is true it will break and you will be getting out of this loop. So you will be getting 1 and 2 only. Right? So this is the break statement. Coming to the second transfer statement, that is continue, it is exactly opposite to your break, where it will skip the statements in the loop and it will repeat the loop, whereas break will break the loop, whereas continue will repeat the loop by skipping the next statements to it. So in this what happens is it will immediately jump to the next iteration. So the syntax will be using very simple. We need to use a keyword called continue. Right? So let us learn this one with a simple example. The earlier example only I have taken, which I have replaced with this continue keyword. The break has been replaced with the continue. Now it will ask the user to enter a number, and if the number is less than 0, then only the continue will be evaluated. Suppose I have given -1, then what happens? -1 is less than 0, it will continue. If it is a break, I told you like it will come from here to here, but if it is a break, it will come from here to here. But if it is continue, then what happens? It will go to the next iteration. Observe here, it is coming again here, and if it is true, it will again execute these statements. Let us see the execution of this program. Enter the number. It is asking the user to enter a number 4 and the square root is 2, 9 the square root is 3. Now I have given -1. So -1 is less than 0, which is true. So it will go back here and it will again ask the user to enter a number. Observe here, it is again asking the user to enter a number. I have given 16, so the square root of 4 will be displayed. Okay, after executing this one, again it will continue. So it is now the loop has become an infinity loop. So whenever you are using a continue, make sure like you should have a condition like that. It at a certain situation the condition will be false. But in our example, it is an iterative. It is a infinite loop only. Just you need to understand like how the continue will be working. So this code is never ever reached. This is out of reach code. Okay, now this is how continue will be working. If you see this example, if you write the continue here, 1 and 2, for 1 and 2 values, you will be getting the printf statement of 1 and 2. But for third value, I value of 3, it will be continuing this one. Got it? So you will be getting the I value as 4 now, and for 4, you will be getting an output of 4. Okay, but for break, if you observe, we got only 1 and 2, but for continue, it will continue with the next iteration. This is how continue will be working. Our next third type of transfer statement is goto. As the name itself, it is telling like goto is nothing but move to somewhere else. And where we need to move? We need to move to the statement where we have given that label. Like in the syntax, we'll be mentioning that one. We will be mentioning from here onwards, these statements will be given a label, and whenever you want to move to this statement from here to here, simply we need to use a keyword called goto and we need to use a label. Normally this goto is a keyword and label is an identifier. That means a user defined name, any name can be given. Make sure like whatever label you have given here, same label can be used here. Okay, but remember here this label should not be always next to this goto only. It can be anywhere in your program, and the only thing what happens is whenever you encounter this statement, it will move to that label. That label of statements can be above this one or below this one. Okay, so we'll see that one. First one is forward goto, where the label is next to our goto. If you observe here, one example I'll show you. Here if you have goto, from here the control will go to the statement which are labeled from here, and the execution will continue like this. So see this example, hello world is printed first, and then we are asking us to go to label. The same name I have used, you can use label also, but you can give your own name or you can give, actually we need to follow the identifier rules here. Okay, so after executing this statement, we'll come here and this statement will be executed. For this, you'll be getting an output of hello world and you'll be getting hope you are fine. because this such type of goto is called as a forward goto. We have a second type which is called as a backward goto, where all these statements, including this label of statements, will be also be executed, and once this has reached, you will go back to this label and again this will be executed. So again it will be a loop here. So I'll show you one example here. See here, after entering into the main, you will be getting hello world, and you will be getting how are you, you will be getting are you fine, and then you have go to label. So it will go back to the label here, you will be getting how are you fine, again it is go to. So if you see the output, hello world is displayed, and you are getting hello, how are you are getting are you okay, and then you have go to label. So again it will go to the label, then these statements, how are you okay. So it is continuing, and it is repeatedly executing these statements only, and whatever code you write here is never ever reached. So here we are making our code as an infinity loop. Got it, all of you? So whenever you are using a backward goto, make sure like you include one more decision statement inside, so that you can come out of this loop, right? So this is one example of your backward goto. Got it, all of you? Now normally whenever it is told, it is suggested to not use this go to statement. Highly it is not suggested. Why? Because it will make us difficult to trace the flow of execution of our program. Like how sometimes it moves forward, sometimes it moves backward. The tracing of the program is very difficult, because it is okay for small programs, but whenever a project is given to you, you may be having 1000 lines of code. So in that 1000 lines of code, if you are using this goto, it will be very difficult for the developer to trace the flow of execution. So, and also it is very hard to understand the program, and it is very difficult to modify the program only because we could not trace it properly. Okay, so in rare instances only we need to use this goto, such as like if you are deeply nested in an inner loop, then if you want to come out of that inner loop, nested inner loops, then only we need to use this goto. Right, all of you? So with this, we have come to an end of transfer statements. So we learned about break, continue and go to. We have fourth type also, which is return statement, that we will be learning at the time of learning functions concept. With this, we have come to an end of our control statements. So all three categories we have learned: selection statements, iterative statements and transfer statements. So in future, we will be learning in detail, we will be using these statements further to learn the other concepts also. I hope you all are clear with these three types. So these three control statements are very important in our C programming language. So let us all meet in our next lecture. Until then, thank you.